Greetings and blessings from the Most High, Jah Rastafari. Crawford Ashley here today, talking about boxing, which is my favourite thing. I'm just sat in my dressing gown as I normally am. I was in the gym yesterday training, which I put up, so if you want to have a look at them, have a look at them. It's about, people say I should sell myself because people don't know what philosophy is on boxing. I think there's two types at the moment. There's the philosophy that boxing's, you have to have a big heart and a strong chin and an hard punch. And it's barbaric and it's brutal. And there's another philosophy that sees it as an art form, a grace, a defence, a martial art. And I've always found it fascinating that if you wanted to teach karate or judo or any martial art, you had to go through a grading system first before you could teach it, and it were black belts who taught it. Now I find boxing that kind of weird thing. You can go on a few weekend courses and you think you know how to box. Well, over this weekend, not this weekend, over this last month or so with these fights, it's proved it to me that boxing's lost. It's lost a lot. It's a self-defense, it's a martial art. People can't even defend against the jab. The basic tool in the box of any boxer should be a jab. And people can't even throw a jab. And the ones who can throw a jab win. You know what I mean? Because people can't defend against it, they don't know how to defend against the jab. And I find that fascinating because that is the basics. If you've got a good jab, you can win a world title. That's the basics. That's how bad boxing's got now. And I find it fascinating how these so-called stars, up-and-comers, they can't even move both ways around the ring. They don't even know how to cut a ring off. And for these so-called fans calling fighters runners because they're boxing off the back foot, you haven't got a clue. Like I say, boxing's gone into fighting, and fighting is the last thing you want to do in a ring. You want to learn to box. And I'm thinking I'd like to put on something, teach trainers and how to teach boxing, because like I said, the art form of boxing is being lost. And for me, I find it very difficult to sell myself, because I think most people who chat about what they can do and what they can't do, they just chat about how great they are even though they can't do it. I'm the best hand rapper in the business, and I've watched people rap hands and who say that and they haven't got a clue. So for people who want to box, for spectators and that, realise that the art of boxing is about not getting hit. The one who lands the most punches on the target area with force wins the fight. And that's where it's matchmakers. You're not doing anybody any good. Mismatches. It's like you're building up fighters with unbeaten records who've never been tested. And the things that they do against lower level boxers don't work when they step up. Like again, the jab. You know, you can walk through screaming out, "Lion in the house!" You find lions in circuses, mate. You find lions in zoos. You know what I mean? Change your attitude. Nobody's frightened of lions. Lions are easily tamed. So, sorry about that, yard, but you got to change your attitude, mate. Boxing's a mind game. Intimidation don't work on a lot of people who understand that boxing's just a mind game. So, and these bandwagon, because boxing is one of the most fascinating sports there is. It's like, I think it was Ali Fraser stopped a quarter of the world, stopped to watch them two fight in the first fight. A quarter of the world was either listening to it on the radio or watching it. Now, when two men can stop a quarter of the world from working, wow, that is a lot, man. So I was thinking I would like to put on a seminar, but it all depends on numbers, and with this COVID thing, it's nonsense. How to throw a jab, how to block a jab, how to parry a jab, how to slip a jab, how to counter a jab, how to swap a jab. Does anybody know anymore, or is it being lost? Because there's very few people teaching it, as we would be seeing it. So for me, all you coaches out there, start looking and seeing what's going on over the weekend and reassess yourselves, because what I was taught in boxing, nobody knows everything. You're always learning, and sometimes there's massive learning curves, and sometimes it's just a steady incline. So you've got to work on it, and like I said, get back to the fundamentals, build the foundations. Once you build the foundations right, you can build whatever you want on top of that. But you need to get the foundations and the fundamentals, the basics. Once you get the basics right, it's basically tear up the textbook and do what you do well. There's no right ways or wrong ways in boxing. There's just ways. Yeah, the way that is the way is not the way. That's the Tao. I like that one. We're all different sizes, we're all different abilities. We've just got to create our own style that makes sure we don't get hit, but we can hit them. Make them miss, make them pay. You know, the art of boxing, hit and not be hit. That is the art of boxing. Not hit and get hit, which it is at the moment. I seen that in Muay Thai when I was over in Thailand training over there. Muay Thai fighters, they take 3 punches, give 3 punches, take 2 kicks, give 2 kicks. And it's like it's the one who can endure the most pain. Well, that's not boxing. Go way, way, way deep down the rabbit hole. How do you beat a counter puncher? You know, how do you take a man's jab away from him? If you're a counter puncher, how do you beat a counter puncher? It's about patience. But they're all different things that I can work on. But I don't even know what I'm on about anyway. I've got to sell myself. I was going to do a session on Saturday, minimum 4 people, and just go over the basics. Basically the jab, as we've seen over the weekend, the jab has won fights. Well, not over the weekend, but over the last 2-3 fights, and it's just been the jab that's won it. So I was gonna teach people how to throw the jab, how to defend against the jab. So if you're interested, get in touch. My email address is thechillin, THECHILLIN 9@gmail.com. So I train out of Bethlehem Boxing Club, LS9. I'll be down there from about 11:15 on Saturday. Like I say, over the next month or 2, I'm going to be doing mates rates. So if you want to come down, get in touch with me first, because I won't be able to deal with you if I've got clients, because my time's spent with them, which to me is more important than people who just want to chat nonsense. And remember one thing: practice, practice, practice. So whatever you learn, practice it, practice it, practice it, practice it until it becomes second nature. And then when you're in the ring or in combat, it'll just happen without you even thinking about it. So if you want to come to these small sessions, get in touch. Facebook, if you think it's interesting for somebody, send it to them. Anyway, check out my channel if you like it. Please subscribe. If you don't, I don't care. Bye.